so we can actually like
What are you doing? This is not a pitch. They're not going to give us money, man, if you keep doing that.
Hello and welcome to Destination Unknown, where the only thing certain is uncertainty. I am Josh Elliott. I will be moderating today, and with me is the man himself,
Blake Connor, that is myself. Josh, how are you doing? This is the first time we're doing something moderated. You're just going to try to keep us on track because we have a long history of not doing that.
Typically, when uncertainty hits, we have the tendency to ramble on forever, and that's not the best for listeners. So.
For henceforth, destination known. No, I hate that. Josh, my room is such a mess right now. I'm glad that when I was setting up this video to record, I always do it in such a way that it's like I have to look immaculate, very clean. I've got a nice desk, but right off screen, it looks like Mr. Clean's estranged uncle, Mr. Dirty, came through and just ravaged the place. I mean, it's a mess. I think that's because, like, it's not like I own a crazy amount of things for someone my age. I'm not, like, just super materialistic. It's the fact that I only have a room. Like, everything I've ever owned is stuffed into one room.
Stuffed in there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's like I've got a bedroom, I've got a home office, I've got a pet terrarium where my turtle is, and it's a lot to fit in one room, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Before we dive into the thing we discussed earlier, I have a little bit of a story from this morning.
Okay.
So I walked out of my house this morning.
As one does.
Yeah, as one does, you know. I'd already been out once to take my mom to school and all that jazz. My mom's a teacher. She's not a student. I don't see why that matters, but I felt the need to clarify.
I took my mom to school. It's funny. Go ahead.
I took my mom to grade school, but no. I walked outside. Who knows what time it was? Who knows? But I walk outside and I feel like I've said I walk outside like 100 times. So I walk outside and I hear screaming, just screaming from down the street.
And this is probably like, what, 7 a.m. or less?
This
or
is
earlier.
This isn't 7 a.m., but it's later in the morning.
Okay.
But I hear screaming. And I'm looking around and, like, I don't see anything. Like, I just hear, like, people very angry with each other. So I just, try to push it back, try to forget it, start walking over to my mom's car, and then I see them down the street. And they're at the corner of my road. And they are just, like, standing maybe 1.5 feet apart. Livid, yelling at each other.
Is this like a couple?
This is a couple, and their like car is in the middle of the road. Like they've been having an argument, and I guess just in a fury got out of the car or something. I don't know what happened, but they are just livid at each other, and the man gets so upset that he picks up the trash can and that's at the edge of their driveway and chucks it across their front yard. Like, this grown man is having a tantrum in his front yard.
That's Florida for you, dude. That's a Florida man headline. I mean, it's not crazy enough to be a Florida man. Yeah, it is. It's a Florida man. You're one of those now, Josh. You are a Florida man.
I am. I guess I always have been since I was born here.
Is there something in the air down there that just makes people crazy? Like, what's the deal?
I don't know, but it was just so weird. Yeah, I just couldn't imagine. I can't imagine. Like, even at my age, I can't imagine just throwing a tantrum. Like, just chucking things across, like, a yard or, like, a room or something, just out of fury.
I feel like even, like, 8 years old, like 7 years old is too old to be having, like, a crazy meltdown temper tantrum. Like, at that point, just learn some coping skills, man. If you're an adult man and you have to yeet your trash can across the yard to show that you're angry, like, we get it. If you're screaming, you're angry.
This dude and his wife are just like so mad at each other that they got out of their car and start, squaring up. And it's like,
I thought you were about to tell me you witnessed a scene of violence. You witnessed
no.
An incident of violence against garbage, I guess. But
yeah, but I mean, I don't know how these people's marriage is, but if there was a violent marriage, this might be one, because I witnessed a poor trash can. Didn't do anything.
Now, Josh,
I can't say that fairly. Maybe the dispute was over some kind of trash thing.
Maybe it's, I don't want the trash can over here in the driveway. I want it in the yard. And he threw it.
They picked up the trash yesterday, and you still have this trash can at the edge of the driveway? Oh, you want me to put it up? I'll put it up. Yeet. Yeah, that's probably what happened, actually.
Josh, Rapture Films is dead. How weird is that?
It is. This is our first podcast back, and we're not stopping the podcast, by the way. Surprise.
Yeah. I'm so... Okay, so this isn't necessarily calling any individual out, but it's like I'm surprised at the number of people who didn't watch the video or didn't read what we posted and just immediately were commenting like, what? No! Like, the YouTube channel is gone? It leads me to believe that some of these people read headlines to articles and then post like political opinions without reading the article, because so many people either messaged me or commented thinking the channel was just dead and over with because they didn't watch the video.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah,
I was going to bring that up. I got a lot of messages about like, I can't believe you guys are stopping. Why? Everything you made was so good and all this stuff. It's like, maybe you should have watched the video. I don't know.
We're still here. We're still alive.
We're still here.
Blake and Josh, that is us now.
Yeah, and in case you didn't watch the video and you're confused as to why we're uploading, I do want to say explicitly that Mario Sunshine the Musical is still happening.
Which we've already said, but it's still happening.
Yeah. But we've already said it, but apparently people have not heard us talk about the channel. But yeah, that's still happening. Don't worry about that. We're putting out new content, movie reviews, that kind of thing. Don't expect skits very often or at all. We'll see. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to linger on that because this is ground we've already covered.
Yeah.
But Blake, today we are in the spirit of remembering Rapture Films as it was.
Memoriam for
In memoriam. We are going to take a trip down memory lane, a little stroll, and talk about some of our favorite videos from Rapture Films history.
And also just a little bit of the channel history, too. I mean, just like what it was, how it came to be, and how it ended, I guess, how it died, which you just saw.
So, before we dive into our number 5s on our list, do you want to give a brief little history of Rapture Films?
Sure. If I had spectacles to push up, this is the part where I do that. So,
bust out your pads of paper and notes, kids.
Everyone, listen. Grandpa has a story. I'm going to tell you about the war. Rapture Films. Well, it started in 2008. As not Rapture Films, but as Blakey Boy 313, which was the name of my YouTube channel. A classic. Some of you may remember my first upload, Eye of the Tiger with lyrics. Classic video. I didn't even put the lyrics in the video. I put them in the description. And the video was just Eye of the Tiger, the song. With the title
and funny enough, that was one of our most successful videos.
For quite a long time. Around the time I was I was a freshman in high school. That's when the name Rapture Films came to be. The name Rapture Films came to be because I was doing a history project for my friend Tori. I was helping her out by making a video, and I knew, up until that point, I didn't have a name for what I was doing, but I knew that since I was doing this video, obviously people needed to know that I was making it, because I guess that was important to me, that I got the credit for making the video. So I decided I had to come up with a name. So what did I do? I just started writing down I made 2 columns on a piece of paper. On one column, just cool words that I thought were cool. And on the that's it. And then on the other side, things like films, productions, industries, all of those things. Somehow I wound up with Rapture Films. And honestly,
You've shown me the paper before. It's really funny.
It's hilarious.
It's just 2 columns, and one of them is circled. Rapture is circled on the left, and Films is circled on the right. And I'm pretty sure you've got a line in between them, like connecting them. It's like, yes, this is it.
Mm-hmm. Well, dude, I think I was just trying out permutations of names. It's like, what were other cool words? It's like, I don't know exactly all the other. It's like Strike Force, Solstice Productions, Eclipse Media. It's like, what? I'm glad Rapture Films is gone now. Not for the reason, like, just simply because I don't have to explain what it means anymore.
Yeah.
So for so long, people are like, so you guys are a Christian organization? It's like, man, I made this.
You guys do religious videos?
Yeah, man, I made this name when I was like 13. And I don't even think I knew what the rapture was. Like, it was a cool word. And I'm glad I don't have to explain that and people don't have to think I'm an idiot anymore, because I'm sure that was on everybody's mind.
So what grade did you make the channel? You gave a year, but I don't know what grade we were in.
9th grade. Right? I would have been in 9th grade. I would divide, going further into the history of Rapture Films, the first Rapture Films video ever made was an educational project. It was on the history of the Mahatma, aka Gandhi, as a lot of you know him, and that video received a failing grade, and and also we received a stern talking to from the teacher when it was over. Because it basically just it ripped on his legacy. And I don't know why there are a lot of things in retrospect that were not good ideas. That video, for example, not a good idea. We still made it.
You know, there are a lot of Rapture Films videos that are just school projects, and I think that's really funny.
I think it's really funny that we decided to brand them as Rapture Films videos. We didn't have to. We could have just made a video. No, we didn't have to.
But it was like, so that one, and then we have the speech final.
Oh my God. Inflatable Dad is the name of that video.
Which is a gem. We've got the speech final. We've got the Spanish project.
However, we got an A on that video. I have no idea. We were reading our lines off paper. It's clear. Like we went to Google Trans. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, or Miss Lewis, I guess as it is now. If you were watching this podcast, you'll know that we cheated on our Spanish final. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
If you watched our final, you knew that we cheated on our Spanish final. It was just hey, make a cool video and show off what you've learned. And literally, we are reading off of a paper, clearly showing we have learned nothing. And this is Spanish 3, mind you. This is not Spanish 1.
This is not.
And we're reading Soy Josh off of a piece of paper.
Soy Blake.
But we got that. I did a video project in college.
Yeah, Invasion of the Rabbits. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
I don't know if there's more. Oh, yeah, there's one that was early. There was one for my creative writing class in sophomore year of high school. But that leads me to my next thing.
You also did the history project, which was for somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
Like Shelby and
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my God. There are so many school projects, because there's that, and then there's we made Florida and I made a video called Dread Lord Obama, where we did and honestly there was nothing political about it. Like, it wasn't like we were trying to be particularly hateful. We just thought it was funny because he's the president, and we took interviews out of context and we tried to make him look evil, but it's so clearly faked. Nobody could ever believe that it was real.
We also did the BNL 5K video.
Oh my!
The Walking Dead themed 5K.
We've done so many things that were not for literally. I think we just made a video, and then when it was over, we're like, well, what do we do with this now? Might as well post it on the channel.
Yeah, I guess so. But my favorite thing about the videos in high school was that teachers would show them to the classes.
Oh, dude!
They're like, check out this video Blake and Josh made, and it was like a class that neither of us were in. It just happened.
Yeah.
Which I think is so funny.
I remember, dude.
I guess not a lot of filmmakers go through BNL.
I guess not. Dude, I remember still in Spanish class. I don't know if you were because this was this before I met you? Nerfed, the first Nerfed video. Had I met you yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, there's a scene in that video where I get shot in the head. Like, we're shooting Nerf guns, but like there's like a gory, like my head explodes basically right onto the screen.
Yeah.
And I asked, and not explaining that in advance, I asked my Spanish teacher at the time, you know, our Spanish teacher to whom we were referring before, and I said, "Do you mind if I play this video I made in class?" And she was like, "Sure." And like I start to play it, and she goes, "Wait." She said, "Is there any violence in it?" and in this video, not only does my head explode, a sword gets shoved through a man, like all the way through. Like, I mean, it's pretty cartoony looking, but the sentiment is there. The sword goes through him, and I roll, like I point my eyes back towards the ceiling as if I'm scanning through the video in my head, and then I look back at her with a grin and I say, "Nope. Totally school appropriate."
Lied.
I did.
You lied.
I did. And it's very apparent because the gunshot where my head explodes comes out of nowhere. It comes out of nowhere. Because we're watching the video, and then the scene where my head it bursts, it comes on, and she screamed.
You were just straight up Axel from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, like just one moment I'm there, the next my brain is painting the camera lens, and my Spanish teacher, what a lovely woman, she just squealed with fear.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Oh God,
I love that so much.
But Rapture Films, I would consider it having like 4 phases. Honestly, this isn't something that I necessarily like brought up to you, but I think there was 4 phases, and you could tell the difference between the 4 intros that there were for Rapture Films. There was a pre-Josh Rapture Films, before Josh and I became friends and before Josh became a part of the YouTube channel. There was the old intro with the little optical flare that I used. There is the high school Rapture Films, where Josh and I were pumping out videos that really, truthfully, made no sense. If you look at those videos and watch them, there's no plot. Like, we didn't try writing anything. We're just like, why don't we just shoot things until we're done?
Yeah, that was the era of us having one funny idea, going off of it for a whole video, and then eventually coming together and being like, "Hey, how should we end it?" Like
that is exactly how it went. And
we've got enough. How do we end this thing?
And you can tell too when you watch those videos, because they make no sense. They make no sense.
There are some good ones. There are some like videos that are like not professional, not high quality, like, but they're funny videos.
Some of them, and I think some of them are funny because they're so stupid and out there.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a certain kind of humor.
Yeah, you definitely have to be in the market for that, and we definitely were. We're like, what's funny? Random, bam. We then evolved to what I would consider, there was early college Rapture Films, which was denoted by the edgy intro that I made when I first moved to college, that despite not utilizing religious undertones, had a cross in the center. I don't know why I did that. I think I did it because I was like, I don't know. Truthfully, looking back, it's like, I think it was a stupid decision. I don't know why I did that.
We can't live in the past anymore. Welcome to the new age.
Oh my God, I cringe just thinking about it. I really do. I can't...
Oh, that's so funny. See, the thing is, like, that was an era where, like, I had started making videos independently and putting them on the channel, but I never used that intro.
Yeah, well, no, here's the thing. You hadn't, I'm pretty sure for a good period of time, you filmed videos, but you sent them to me, is the thing, and I edited them.
Freshman year, I did, yeah.
But that was because... During that
sophomore year was the first
when
Josh original full and through
space is your first totally Josh upload. Everything else went through me, like you filmed it and then you sent it to me and I put it together. And that's there was a period of time where I think during that third phase was very, very strange, because I got in real close with Jacob Gennon, and you just weren't in very many videos, Josh. It's not that you weren't in the channel. It's just you weren't, like, basically it was up to you to shoot a video and then send it to me, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then there was the final age, which all of you should recognize the intro if you've been a purveyor of this channel for a while. The classic sun, which we branded around. I didn't even make that intro. Jacob did. Jacob made that intro.
The Rapture Films sun.
Yep.
Yeah, the logo was designed by my friend David Scow.
Mm-hmm.
And then the intro came after, and it was cool. I've always loved it. But
no, I really liked the imagery, and it's hard going away from that. Like I've got a sticker. I've got a Rapture Film sticker. It's something that I'm always going to hold dear in my heart. Rapture Films, what it is. When I started, Rapture Films was really like the first outlet I ever had, like in the sense of like, I guess that's unfair to say, but like creatively speaking, because, and I'm calling Rapture Films to me is an amalgamation of something that I've had since I was 11. Rapture Films is my YouTube channel, and it's not Rapture Films anymore. Now it's Blake and Josh, but it's always remained the same. We never made a different channel to change these things. It's like it's always sort of been this composite, and you see these remnants of yesteryear, and it's like this all started as a way for me to make fun ideas with my friends come to life. You know, like that's what it started as for me anyway.
Yeah. Well, Blake, if we don't dive into our stroll down memory lane, I don't think this podcast is going to be way too long. But do we want to talk about the end of Rapture Films real quick, or just bypass it?
I think we can talk about it real quick. Do you have anything?
I'll do it very briefly.
Yeah, you tell me. You haven't talked too much. Yeah.
There was a point in time in a crisis where no, I'm not even gonna go down and make that joke. That's a reference. Don't worry about it. It's a horrible video. But this summer, Blake and I filmed a video, and this is always my go-to when I talk about the end of the channel. We filmed a video in May. Not some Mortal Kombat 11.
The last official Rapture Films video.
Not some Mortal Kombat 11, which turned out great. We love it. Like, it's a cool video. But we filmed it in May, and it was not released until August. And like, life happened just over and over again. It just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And we didn't really make a lot. We didn't really make a lot in between as far as skits go. Mm-hmm. We just pretty much did the podcast and like drawing challenges and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But once we finally got that out, I asked Blake, I was like, Blake, was it worth it? And he said, no, it wasn't worth it. Not that he regretted making it, not like anything like that. It just after so long of making skits, we got tired of it. Like, our hearts weren't in it anymore, and we just didn't want to continue doing it. And that's really all there is to it. Mm-hmm. Like, we were relieved to find out that this was a mutual feeling. Yeah. Because for a long time, I just held on because I was like, man, if I quit, like, Blake's, like, I didn't want to quit because of Blake. And I was like, I got to keep going for him.
Dude, I felt the same way.
And Blake was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, we're really excited about the new stuff we're doing. And I don't want to, like, linger on this any longer than we already have.
Dude, that's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to me to think about that. How long ago could we have changed? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, how long have we felt like this and just repressed those feelings?
But I digress. You can tell if you go back and look through, like, this year's videos. It's like, I don't feel like they're really, like, in this anymore. But
yeah, there's definitely... there was a period of time for Rapture Films where we, like, released a video every single week for, like, almost, like, a year. And then we dropped the ball and never picked it back up.
Yeah, 2017, I believe.
Man.
We uploaded 53 videos.
What a good year.
Which is over one a week. Yeah. That is insane. But anyway, so Blake, let's talk about some Rapture Films personal favorites.
Sure.
And let's start with, we each made a list of our top 5. I don't think either of them actually, we really put them in order. I kind of gave them in order, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to figure out the order as I go because I don't think it's that important. But
yeah. So Blake, give me your number 5.
Number 5 has got to be The Sad Sportscaster with Jacob Gennon. I love that video to pieces, mainly because it's just I was learning about like sketch comedy early in college, and I made that video shortly after going to like a little workshop about sketch comedy and like how sketch comedy works. And Jacob and I wrote it together, and it was the first time we'd ever introduced the concept of like a straight man, one person who is not in on the joke, and like like their reactions are funny, and like that's the majority of what improv or sketch comedy is based on, is like one person who's not into this world. So it's like funny because you get their like normal reactions. But the twist about that video is Jacob is supposed to be the straight man because I'm the sad sportscaster, but
but he's the ridiculous character.
He's the one who stole the show. Like nobody ever remembers my character in that video because I mean my performance is so lackluster, intentionally so. I'm really low energy and I talk like this, and it's funny because Jacob's like, "Wow, did you see that?"
For one, like Jacob's just a gift to the planet. I love that man so much. I love
Jacob Ginnon so much. Shout out to Jacob
He just brings an energy that a lot of other people just don't have. But yeah, the whole like straight man thing, I would like to point out that our videos have had a straight man like ever since I've been involved, like pretty regularly, but it was like subconsciously. Like we didn't really know what that was. We didn't inherently
know what that term meant.
Like that was just the first time it was like intentional. Like, hey, let's make this like this. Like the more we learn about like filmmaking, the more like subconsciously snobby we get about it.
One fun thing about the Sad Sportscaster video in particular is there's one line in it where Jacob, it's the most memorable line I think from it is when Jacob says Ball State, but he says it and he's like, "Oh!" like the way his lips
like Miss Fowler from Jimmy Neutron.
Oh my god, it's disgusting. But okay, so two things. First, that's a super cut because in the actual scene where he does that, he starts laughing immediately after. So I cut that clipped. It's too funny to cut, so I put it together with a clip of him saying the next line, and I stitched it so it worked. So the actual video of him finishing that sentence doesn't exist. I Franken edited it together, but I get that reference or I used to, not anymore. When I first released that video, people would come up to me and make that sound because they'd seen the video. When I was a sophomore, I was dating this girl, and I went to visit her family for the first time. I met her parents, and we get in and I meet her dad, and like I shake his hand, and he gives me this look that like I don't think I could ever like fully do justice to. It's kind of like this mischievous like it's almost like the smirk emoji where it's like sideways you're looking at somebody, and she looks at him with this expression of just like, "No, God, please don't." And he looks at me and he says, "Do you guys have a nice drive from Ball State?"
Oh my gosh.
I about lost my mind, like thinking that this man knew who I was, not from what his daughter had told him, but from this video of me and Jacob Ginnon.
That's awesome. I love that. All right, I'm going to go on to my number 5.
Yeah.
My number 5 is also a newscast video, but it is the Angry Newscasters. This is a video that was actually originally going to be shot at Johnson.
Was it really?
I had this idea. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I don't. But
I had this idea, and I couldn't arrange there was some reason I didn't shoot it, and I like told Blake about it. I was like, "Hey Blake, I have this idea for a video. Like, you guys should do it down there." And dude, you delivered on this video because for one, this is one of my favorite of your characters ever. Like from any skit. Like this character is insane. And there's a point in this video that any of my friends from Johnson that have watched this with me know what it is because I crack up every time. But when you're like violently shaking your head and you're like, when you like force feeding a vegan a steak every day for the rest of their life, like, dude, it gets me. Like I can't handle it. I lose my mind every single time. And then all the other people on the news team are like furious too, and it's just I just love it. I love that video.
There's something to
It
be
makes
said
me laugh.
about giving 100% in a performance. It's something that I very seldom get to do, where you just totally like you invest yourself in this character. It's my favorite form of acting, honestly, is just pretending so hard that it like I feel like I did it for Zeref in The Most Dangerous Game, and I feel like I did it for that character. But really,
you get lost in a character.
Yeah, where you're just like almost like method acting in a sense, but it's just like I give everything that I have for this performance. Yeah. Like I'm exhausted when it's over. I digress.
Yeah. I feel like the angry newscaster is your version of Pildickle for me.
Yeah.
Because Pildickle is just insane. Like
my name.
But anyway, that's my number 5.
And I am the harbinger of wrath. I don't think I could do it right now. My number 4 for favorite Rapture Films videos. I got to give it to I about forgot the name. I did.
It really made an impression on you.
I'm sorry. Okay. The dark sitcom. It's because it's not like necessarily a name that like like it didn't stand out to me for a second, but just the thing about it is it's like there's really nothing at all special about it. Like in the sense of like the camera work on my end was pretty shoddy because I was using a camera I hadn't used before, and I did a very bad job at it. But the writing is just like it's just so dark. It's funny. Like anybody watching it, you're just like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's a lot of shock laughter in that video.
Yeah.
And then the whole shtick of that video was my character's reactions to the dark things that were happening were the sitcom element of the video. So I'm reacting in these ways that are not natural. It's just like, like life is bliss, everything is fine kind of reactions. While this other character is saying these like horrifying things, like just horrible things. But yeah, I've always loved that video. It holds a special place in my heart. It didn't actually make my list, but it is in my honorable mentions.
My phone just fell. Did you hear that clank?
I did hear the clank. I was gonna ignore it, but you brought it up.
Yeah,
so
I know. I'm bad about that. Sorry.
All right, my number 4 is another Alec Kern, Todd Smithers beauty. It's the daddening.
Ooh, I like that.
So one of my favorite things about this video is just that, like, for one, it is the Josh, Alec, and Blake trifecta that I love so much that we really didn't do very often.
No, but it was always good.
There was a certain dynamic with those kinds of videos that I really, really love. Like the three of us together, I just think we work together well. Like, it's just good chemistry. But that video of just like someone slowly like turning into a dad because they were bit by a dad, like I love the concept, and I think we executed it pretty well. That's always one of my go-tos if I'm like showing somebody Rapture Films videos for the first time. Like that's one of them that I'll show.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what's your number 3?
Number 3 has got to be every action movie trailer ever. That
I'm gonna disclose right now that that's also my number 3.
Oh, okay. So we can just talk about it together. That video. Yeah. Dude,
that is, in my opinion, that is Jacob Giddens' shining moment in Rapture Films.
It is
because dude, he steals the show in that video, and I mean he's the main character.
Yeah.
But like that video hits on all cylinders the entire time.
There are so many.
There's not
jokes.
A dull moment.
Yeah. It's one of those. If you talk about videos that like I have made plenty of videos where I've made jokes or like I wrote something and I'm like, man, that's gonna be hilarious, and then it just didn't land. Like something, and it's like you learn from those moments where it's like, yeah, could be better. But that video, it's like I just feel like everything that I wrote and everything I wanted it to be, it turned out that way. And it's short, it's fun. I like that video. I don't know how many times I've used in montages or just to be like, look at this funny shot of Jacob Giddens running away from an explosion, carrying an adult man who can clearly walk on his back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Cole,
it really is.
Cole runs back to him. And it's funny because Cole is our friend from high school. Cole is the guy who I was making Rapture Films videos with before I met Josh. And he just came up to visit Ball State one day. And I've only seen him a handful of times since then, but he just happened to be there that day. And I was like, do you want to be in a video? And he's like, sure. And there's a scene where Jacob has just carried two people away from an explosion. The explosion happens in the same exact place twice. And he happens upon his son, Cole, who's the same age and size as him. And Cole says to him, who's bigger than him. And Cole says to him, come on, Dad, I can't carry myself. The man runs up to him on two legs and says, I can't carry myself. To which Jacob replies, you won't have to, and throws him over his shoulder.
Gosh, I love that video so much.
I feel like that's narcissistic. I just made myself laugh at my own joke. What's wrong with me?
One thing I didn't really think about, just a beauty of our Bedford friends.
Yeah.
Like, just because us making videos was like such a huge part of high school. Mm-hmm. Like, anytime that either of us are home, it's so easy to get people to be in videos.
Oh, it is. People,
no matter how much we've changed, how much time has passed, like, people are down. Like, they're like, oh, you want me to be in a video? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's
that's awesome.
It's such a historic thing too. They've been doing it for years, man. These people have been stuck by our side for years, and that's so cool. Shout out to all the OGs out there. You know who you are.
Oh yeah. Blake, do you remember a long time ago when I made a stat sheet for Rapture Films videos?
I have a stat. Dude, okay, listen, I want you to know something.
I'm going to do it again now that Rapture Films is over.
I want you... Wait, not right now, are you?
No.
Okay, I was like...
No.
Okay, listen, Josh.
Now that it's over, I'm going to go through and just make a huge master list of all these, like, random stats.
So when Gage and I were setting up the 3D printer, I found one of the zombie movie scripts. And I found on the back of it. No, okay, listen. I want you to understand something. Me and Gage were laughing so hard because you made this list, right? And on this list, on the back of your script, I think for Morning Glory, you wrote out all the characters. You wrote number of kills, number of like zombies killed. It's like human characters killed, zombie characters killed, and then this is hilarious. The last one said cool moments. There was a cool moments tab. And guess who had the most by far? Yeah. Gage and I were laughing so hard because Gage is like, what does that mean? What does cool moments mean? And why does Josh clearly have the most? It's not a contest.
Well, here's one defense of that. One defense. I was the main character in that trilogy.
Well, okay. I want you to know something. You did not have...
I wasn't originally.
No, well, it's like you sort of became the main character by the end of it. I would say you didn't have the most screen time by the time. Yeah. I don't necessarily want to even debate this. I'm just saying I think it's funny that you made a list, and on that list you listed cool moments, and amongst that list of cool moments, you had the most. So.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm sure I did because that's how I wrote. But I'm just being honest. Like, we wrote the thing. I'm sure we gave me the coolest things.
That video, they're also so bad, man.
They're.
We'll do. I want to go through someday and review all of them. Now that we're a movie review channel,
we'll do it at some point.
I want to do that so bad.
We could do it as one video.
What is
just the Dying to Live
trilogy?
Trilogy.
What is your?
That'd be cool. Numero dos.
Yes.
You see how good I am at Spanish? Shout out to Miss Jackson. That was so weird. I don't know why I did that. My number 2. I held up 4 fingers. I'm crumbling, Blake. I'm having an anxiety attack.
Are you okay?
My number 2.
Breathe.
My number 2 is anime poker.
I like that.
I just love this video. Everything from Elijah as the card dealer to your absurd character.
I'm Ace Pokerton, the greatest poker player on earth.
All the anime jokes we fit in there. Like, it's just a funny video, like start to finish.
Oh yeah,
it is so fun, and I love it.
So
My name is Rummy. The credits with all the people that weren't actually in it.
Mew Boy, Goku as himself, and it's a photo of Naruto.
It's good. It's real good. That was a very not so Mortal Kombat roster-esque.
Oh yeah.
Credit scene.
Oh, for
You know,
sure.
in not so Mortal Kombat where we have Mario, but it's a picture of Waluigi doing some weird dab.
Yeah.
And,
Oh no, it's funny. Like just I like that style of humor.
Oh yeah, me too.
My second place goes to The Paperboy, which that's a video we made when we were probably sophomores or freshmen. Did we make that when we were freshmen? I don't know. In college.
It was probably freshman. Because I remember filming it when you weren't there, and then sending you all the footage, and I filmed it on my iPod.
You want to talk about a video I've beaten to death by playing over and over and over again. I've probably seen that video 1,000 times. Oh my God. I just think I think it's funny because of the subverted expectations, but it's also it's laughable to think that when people ask me, or when people used to ask me, I guess, what is Rapture Films? What is your channel? That is one of the first videos I would show them, in addition to my number one pick, which we'll get to here shortly. Paperboy. What is your number one, Josh?
Before I do my number one, I want to go into some honorable mentions.
Sure.
But some of my honorable mentions were the Pill Dickle, used car lot video. Just because, I think that's my favorite of the characters that I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a ridiculous man who I think is very funny. The video starts off with this insane scream that I love. But that If People Were Deer, which is my favorite of all of the if blank were blank kind of videos that we did. Just because I think every joke lands in that video.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that. Not So Mortal Kombat 7. Shout out to that. That's the one with me and Alec.
That's a good one.
That one's my favorite, I think, because of the fatality.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one overall of all of them is 5.
Yeah.
With you and I.
It's a fun one.
But I don't know.
I want to hear that number one, dude.
Well, my last honorable mention is actually what I'm anticipating your number one to be. My last honorable mention is We Don't Cuss. I think that video is hilarious. The only reason it didn't make my list is that as time has gone on, I've just started to think it's this video is one joke. It's really funny, but it's just one joke at the very end.
Yeah.
And the first time I watched it, I laughed from the moment it started till the end of it. But since I've seen it so many times, it's just kind of I love it still.
Yeah, the joke is lost in you. I mean, I get that.
Yeah, I know it's coming, and it's just it's the thing. But my number one, we've already talked about, is The Paperboy. Just because it's a video it's a style of video I always wanted to do, just where something happens that is not too outlandish, not too it's something you wouldn't get furious about. But it escalates to an absurd degree.
Yeah, getting hit with a paper.
A man walks out, gets hit by a newspaper, and in real life, you would expect nothing really to happen.
Yeah.
But, everybody on the block starts pulling out guns,
they're strapped.
Huge guns out of nowhere. And, this just all-out brawl ensues. And I just love it. I think it's so funny.
Yeah.
Everybody in it cracks me up. I think everybody did such a good job.
Alec blasts Alex Smith in the face. That is probably the most brutal scene in that whole video. Is when Alec point blank.
That's the one that gets everybody a reaction. Everybody reacts to that because Alec rolls over and then just bang headshots, and it's right on screen.
It's vicious.
It is a vicious headshot. And Alex Smith, if you're watching, which I doubt you are, but if you're watching, you got Shrek'd in that scene. But anyway, that's my number one.
Yeah. My number one video has to be exactly what you said. We Don't Cuss.
I assumed.
Yeah.
I assumed it would be.
We Don't Cuss is Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That is the first video I show people when they ask what videos I make on my YouTube channel, is we don't cuss. It's old, but it's gold, man. It's it's only funny to show people who have never seen it before, though, because if somebody's seen it, they're like, oh yeah, I get the joke. You know, the one joke is I cuss. And that's it.
Yeah. The circuit of videos that I show, if I'm showing someone Rapture Films for the first time, is always, I show them The Paperboy, We Don't Cuss, every action movie ever, and The Daddening.
And isn't that sad to think that those are all from like the same era? They're all from like 2017. Yeah. Those are all like years old.
And then like I'll throw in some rando fifth one, like depending on who it is, like what I think they would like. Yeah. But I always show those videos, like always. And I love We Don't Cuss, but again, like I know what's coming.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. But
no.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun looking back on like all these videos and like thinking about just the different people that were involved in them and that kind of stuff.
Rapture Films has brought me so much in the sense of like not only like the memories and the friends, but like, dude, Magic off the final act won me a scholarship at Ball State. I got $10,000 from Magic off the final act. I'm wearing the, which you can't see obviously, I'm wearing the David Letterman shirt that I won. It was the David Letterman Award for a creative project, and that's what I submitted. And I guess I made it specifically for YouTube, but all the credit has to originally go to Jacob Ginnon. He's the one whose idea it was to make the first one. And then Jacob Ginnon is really not forgotten, but a big part of this channel's history in the sense of he was a third partner for about a year and a half.
There are a lot of people that are just so heavily involved in Rapture Films history. It's weird to think about because it's always been you and I, like primarily. But
we announced
Jacob for a long time was right there. He was just one of the three. Like it was as much his as anybody else's, it felt like. And then also like Q had a huge part in the channel. Huge. Almost all of the videos that I've ever put on the channel that Blake's not involved in were filmed by Q. Like he was always my go-to cameraman.
He's a good boy. A classic good boy.
Mark is in a ton of videos. He helped me come up with ideas. The last time I did like Rapture Films statistics, Mark was in the third most videos, like behind you and I.
Seriously?
Like he edged out Jacob. Yeah. And by like quite a bit too, which is surprising.
Yeah, that is really surprising. You can't forget old Samantha Essex either. She was...
Samantha Essex.
We introduced her and Q as part of the team in one video a while back. Like officially. We're like, yep, they're in it. They're with us now.
Yeah, and I mean, they helped us out a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, dude, we've done a lot of things.
We have. And
if this list included short films, I think my list would be completely different.
Yeah, what would you include?
Because like Magic off the final act, Indiana Josh 2, Luigi's Mansion, dude.
Yeah. We'll talk dude,
bangers. But
I'm glad though that I'm glad we have what we have. I'm glad that the past is the past, and as much as I look back on those memories fondly, I can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? This is like this simultaneous feeling of like, Josh, anytime we try to reinvigorate ourselves about YouTube, we just watch the old videos we put together and we're like, see, we were funny once, we could be funny again. And it just, we never really pulled it together. And I think it's because we were trying to capture something we'd lost, honestly.
It was one of those things where also, we always kind of talked about how like it was hard to do videos while we were in college. But now that I'm on the other side of it, dude, I actually think college is the perfect time to make videos. Like, we made 53 videos in 1 year, and we were in the thick of college.
We were just like big weenies, dude.
We lived with all of our friends.
Big weenies.
We had, whether we wanted to admit it or not, a lot of free time.
Yeah.
Like, college was the perfect time to make that kind of stuff. And now that we are out of college, and now that we're not living in the same place as each other, like, skits, like, it's not really feasible.
No, dude,
like, at all.
The thing about Blake and Josh as a YouTube channel is we're going to be together for podcasts, but we're not going to be together for a lot of these videos. It's going to be individual. Yeah. Josh is going to be doing movie reviews. I'm going to be doing video essays. We share this channel, and we'll be coming together a lot for different things, but just don't expect frequent, unless it's in a podcast form like this. Like, we won't necessarily be together.
And there will be other things that we do together. Like, we are still going to do, like, kind of, I don't want to say specifically, like, drawing challenges.
Yeah.
But, like, videos like that will get sprinkled in throughout. And then whenever we have a big production that we're working on, we'll obviously both be really involved in that. That's one thing that's not changing. We are still going to go after, like, big productions. We're going to do short films. We're going to do, like, with Mario Sunshine, feature films.
Yeah.
Like, we're still doing this kind of stuff. It's just, those are the kinds of, like, films that we get excited about making.
Yeah.
But we can't really, like,
do it often,
do well on YouTube with only doing that stuff, because if that were the case, we'd upload once a year, maybe. Like,
it's something that I still want to pursue, you know, like he's saying.
Yeah.
It's just not something I could do all the time, you know. I feel like my style of humor would be very well suited to something like TikTok, because one of the biggest things that held me back from doing sketches. I tried to combine the word skit and sketch.
No, yeah, sketches. Yeah.
The biggest thing that held me back from doing sketches was the amount of production value I wanted to pump into every video, because anytime I wrote something, I was like, well, this has to look real. Used to, we just film whatever. It's like, I'm a doctor and we're wearing street clothing, and it's just like, you just buy it because you're like, yeah, I said I'm a doctor, therefore, for the sake of this joke, I'm a doctor. Whereas with, like, memes and TikTok, you just throw text up on the screen that, like, describes who somebody is. It's like, doctor. Like, you put that text over them and it works. You know what I mean? You don't need that. Like, you get the humor from the joke. It's not about, you know, the production value. And I think I was so caught up in that, it made me never do anything, because it's like, I can only write small videos because I can't do big videos, basically.
Yeah. My mind was always on the, like, big projects we had coming. Like, that's always what I wanted to work on. And then when it came to skits, it's like, oh, I'll throw something together. Like,
I'll do something.
I literally made a video in the middle of this, like, slump of not wanting to make skits anymore. That was essentially a video about me being out of ideas. And it couldn't have rang more true.
It's called the YouTube grind. I remember that video.
Because I didn't have, like, I had ideas, but none that I wanted to pursue.
Well, dude, it should have been so apparent when every time either one of us was like, you want to talk about videos? The other one was like, nah, I don't want to.
Also, we have a Patreon, if you are interested in signing up for that. And really what all that is supporting Blake and I, so we can actually, like
what are you doing? This is not a pitch. They're not going to give us money, man, if you keep doing that.
We have a Patreon if you want to support us, because we need to make videos, but we also need money because we're adults and we have to pay for things.
Solid pitch.
That's the best pitch for Patreon I've ever heard.
Yeah,
we'll attempt it again in another outro of another video.
I'll throw a link down in the description. As it stands, well, at the release of this video, it will be different. But right now, we still haven't rebranded it to Blake and Josh, so it's still Rapture Films. But when you watch this, that won't be the case. I'm just talking about the present time, because I'm in the past, and you're in the future, and you're watching something that isn't real. Crazy, right? I digress. I'll leave the link in the description below if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Man, we were on such a roll with this podcast, and everything's crumbled away.
Yep. Well, there is that point where you had an anxiety attack earlier, because you spoke the name of a Spanish teacher, and it turned your organs to goo. I don't know what happened there.
Is that what happened? I spoke her name, and I couldn't control myself.
Yeah. Well, don't say it like that. I don't like that. I feel weird now. This has been...
All right, this needs to end.
This has been Destination Unknown. Thank you for watching and supporting us. Thank you to everybody who stuck around for all of Rapture Films 2. It's been a hard thing to say goodbye. I mean, we said goodbye once, and now we're saying goodbye again in a longer form, but we'll shut up about it now, I swear. I promise.
Watch our other videos that are out now.
Yeah. See ya.